The darkness of the night had settled everywhere. Maria was flipping through the pages of her book when suddenly, a strange sound came from outside the window. It was a soft growl, almost like a wild animal was near. Maria looked toward the window and saw a cat. The cat's eyes were green and glowing, and there was something unsettling about its presence. Maria couldn't bear the cat's stare and quickly shut the window, but the image of the cat stayed in her mind. The next morning, when Maria stepped outside, she saw the same cat sitting at the doorstep. She asked in surprise, "Where did you come from?" The cat didn't make a sound, but its eyes remained fixed on Maria's face. The cat wore an old collar, with a strange symbol engraved on it. Maria thought maybe the cat belonged to someone and had lost its way. "Come on, come inside," Maria said, opening the door. The cat silently walked in and sat in a corner. Maria offered it milk, but instead of drinking, the cat kept its gaze fixed on a faded picture hanging in the corner of the room. Maria nervously glanced at the picture, but nothing seemed unusual. Then, the cat made a strange sound, like the creaking of an old door. Maria could feel the atmosphere in the house changing, and a cold chill crept over her. That night, Maria dreamt she was in an abandoned place, where the same cat sat by the door of an old house. Shadowy trees stood behind the cat, and the door slowly creaked open. A dim light shone from inside, and someone called Maria's name. Maria woke up, sitting up in bed, startled. She was shocked to see the cat sitting by the door to her room, staring at her. Its eyes were glowing with a terrifying intensity, as if it had a message to deliver. The next morning, Maria found the cat sitting by her room door. It was staring at her intently, as if it wanted to lead her somewhere. Maria thought to herself, "This cat is trying to tell me something." The cat slowly approached Maria and gently brushed against the edge of her clothes. Maria looked at it in surprise, but then decided to follow it. The cat led Maria to the garden behind the house, where there was an old, sunken stone path that Maria had never noticed before. The cat stopped near the path and began digging at the ground with its paws. What could this be? Maria wondered aloud as she bent down to start digging. After a few moments, she uncovered a small, rusty iron box with a mysterious symbol engraved on it, similar to the one on the cat's collar. Maria opened the box, but inside, there was nothing except an old scrap of paper with faded writing that read, "This is the beginning, but to reach the end, listen to the shadows." As soon as Maria read the words, a strange whisper echoed in her ears. It wasn't the cat's voice, but the presence of something else, like an invisible entity in the air. Suddenly, the cat began to meow loudly and ran to the other side of the garden. Maria chased after it, but as she reached the corner, she felt as though someone had placed a hand on her shoulder. "Who's there?" Maria asked, turning around in panic, but no one was there. The cat was standing under an old, withered tree. Its branches were swaying as though moved by something other than the wind. The cat had settled near the tree's roots, its eyes fixed intently on Maria. Maria approached and looked under the tree, where she spotted another box. This one was bigger and even more worn out than the first. With trembling hands, Maria opened it. Inside, there was an old photograph. In the picture, a woman and a cat were together. But the most startling thing was that the cat in the picture looked exactly like Maria's own cat. "This is impossible," Maria whispered to herself. Beneath the photo was another piece of paper with the words, "You must protect our secret." Maria suddenly realized that none of this was a coincidence. The cat was no ordinary pet. It was linked to some mysterious past, and now Maria had become part of its story. That night, Maria let the cat sleep by her bed. But as soon as she drifted off, a dream took hold of her. She found herself in an eerie house, dimly lit by candlelight. The cat was with her, and a soft voice echoed in the air, "Maria, keep the secret safe, or the shadows will never find peace." Maria's eyes opened early in the morning. Her heart was still racing from the effect of the dream she had. There was a light fog in the room, and the cat sat silently in the corner of her bed, staring at her. What was that dream? Maria looked at the cat, which was still staring at her with an eerie intensity. The cat jumped off the bed and started walking toward the door, as if trying to lead her somewhere. Maria thought maybe it wanted to show her something important. The cat guided Maria down the old path where she had found a box the night before. But this time, there was a strange atmosphere around the trees. The air felt heavy, and there were faint whispers all around. "Why is it so quiet here?" Maria whispered to herself. Suddenly, the cat let out a loud meow and settled under a tree. When Maria bent down to look again, she discovered something new, a worn, old booklet. Strange symbols covered its surface, and on the first page, a message was written. "Shadows are near. Hold on to the light, or everything will be lost." A chill ran through Maria's heart. She flipped through the pages of the booklet, finding more mysterious symbols and maps, as if they were leading her to some secret place. Suddenly, the atmosphere around her began to shift. The branches of the trees began to shake violently, and Maria felt an invisible presence moving around her. "What's happening?" Maria screamed, but her voice was drowned out by the wind. The cat started growling fiercely and coiled around her feet. As Maria picked up the cat, the whispers grew louder and more urgent. "Don't leave the path. Without the light, everything will be destroyed." Maria gripped the booklet tightly and hurried back toward the house. But when she reached the door, it was locked, and strange noises were coming from inside. Summoning her courage, Maria opened the door to find the room filled with fog. In the mist, she saw a shadow, tall, menacing, and mysterious. The shadow slowly began to move toward her. "Who are you?" Maria asked, trembling. The shadow paused, and a deep, echoing voice replied. "This secret isn't yours, but now, you are part of it." The cat growled again, and its eyes glowed with light. As the cat hissed, the shadow retreated, and the fog began to clear. Maria sighed in relief, but she knew this was just the beginning. The cat wasn't an ordinary pet, it was a manifestation of some mysterious power. And Maria had to understand why she had become part of this strange story. The night had deepened. Maria sat with the booklet and her cat, reflecting on all the strange events. The map and symbols in the booklet were still troubling her. She wondered if they pointed to a hidden place or a secret. The cat sat beside her, silently watching the booklet, as if trying to understand the symbols. Suddenly, the cat placed its paw on a page and let out a loud meow. Maria closely examined the page under the cat's paw. There was a mysterious sentence written there. "Where the shadow is deepest, the truth is hidden." Maria decided she would follow these clues, no matter what. Grabbing her phone's flashlight, she stepped outside with the cat. As she looked at the map in the booklet, she began heading toward the old forest. The forest seemed even more frightening at night. The branches of the trees swayed as if controlled by some hidden power. The cat, usually cautious, walked beside Maria, step by step. After a few minutes, Maria reached a spot where the trees formed a thick, dark shadow. On the ground, she saw markings that matched the symbols from the booklet. "This is the place," Maria whispered to herself. As soon as she opened the booklet, the ground beneath her feet slightly trembled. The earth in front of her cracked open, revealing a small staircase leading downward. "Is this the entrance to an old cellar?" Maria thought. She descended the stairs with the cat by her side. The atmosphere in the cellar was heavy and mysterious. Ancient carvings decorated the walls, and dim candlelight flickered all around. In the center of the room stood a table, with an old chest placed on it. A symbol was engraved on the chest, and beneath it was a note that read, "This is the final door. Whoever opens it will release the truth, but a price must be paid." Maria took a deep breath and walked toward the chest. The cat began growling again, as if warning her. "I want to understand this secret," Maria said, looking at the cat. As she opened the chest, a burst of light exploded from within. Inside the chest was an ancient mirror. Standing in front of the mirror, Maria saw a strange vision, her old memories, the past of her home, and the cat, always there by her side. Maria realized that the cat had always been a part of her family, but it wasn't just any animal. It was an ancient guardian, protecting the secrets that ordinary eyes couldn't see. Suddenly, a shadow emerged from the mirror. It was the same shadow she had seen in her house. The shadow spoke softly. "You have freed the secret, but you will need courage to protect yourself." Maria gripped the booklet tightly and said, "I want to know what this is." "I'm ready." The shadow slowly began to disappear, but it spoke one last time. "Your path will be difficult, but this cat will stay with you. It will protect you from the darkness that is ready to consume you." Before Maria, there were two paths, one to continue unraveling the secret, and the other to return to her normal life. But she knew she couldn't go back now. Maria stood in the dim light of the cellar, holding the ancient booklet, the weight of the decision pressed heavily upon her. The shadow had vanished, but its warning lingered in her mind. The cat, ever watchful, remained close by her side, its eyes glowing faintly in the dark. She looked around the eerie space. The walls, adorned with ancient symbols, seemed to whisper secrets only the bold could hear. The faint flicker of the candles cast long shadows, stretching out as if the darkness itself was alive, waiting for the right moment to pounce. Maria's heart raced as she considered her options. The path ahead, towards the unknown secrets of the past, was fraught with dangers she couldn't yet comprehend. The thought of returning to a normal life seemed appealing, but deep down, she knew that her curiosity would not allow her to turn back. Something in her had awakened, something that couldn't be silenced by the simple comfort of familiarity. The cat, sensing her inner turmoil, let out a soft meow, as though urging her forward. It was more than just a pet, it was a guide, a protector, and perhaps the key to understanding the mystery that had consumed her life. Maria took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her decision. She could feel the pull of the unknown, the strange power that seemed to be calling her. She looked down at the cat, its green eyes glowing in the dark, and nodded. She had come this far. There was no turning back now. "I'll face whatever comes," Maria whispered to herself. "I have to know the truth." With a final glance at the dark cellar, she turned toward the path that led deeper into the unknown, the cat following her every step.